All right, tapping into the north facet of wholeness, the nurturing generative adult. Some of the main needs in the context of NVC are contribution, nurturance, compassion. And, when I thought about who is someone that I know that embodies this energy, Martin Luther King Jr. Definitely embodies the nurturing generative adult. And the quote here is, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." So this is a facet of wholeness that's nurturing, empathic, skillful, knowledgeable, and inventive. Fully able to accept their own, where you're at, and also accept other people's characteristics. So there is a strong self-acceptance and the acceptance of others. And there's always a willingness to move towards greater maturity and wholeness. So like facilitating NVC, like Marshall Rosenberg is probably another person. He had a lot of a really strong north. So, so the north, gifts to our NVC practice. So empathy and compassion, desire for equity, accepting ourselves and others, making clear doable requests, planning action on behalf of nature and humanity, sharing and protecting life, and sharing power. And also developing NVC skills and connection. So I want to do a little group exercise on what are some actions that would make your nurturing adult happy. So I'd love to basically hear from the group. What are some things that you would do that would make you happy? And one example, or at least the nurturing generative adult part of yourself, what could you see yourself doing from this perspective? So I'd love to hear just from the group. And I threw one of them out there. Empathic listening is one thing that your adult might do. So what are some other things?
Teaching something to a child.
All right, teaching a child. Yeah. Nikki, I see your hands up.
To do fun things, whatever's fun to you, singing, dancing, playing.
Singing, dancing, and playing. All right. Let's see. So, yeah, so that maybe organizing. So I'm trying to put this in the perspective of the North. So organizing activities of singing, dancing, and playing. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. What else? What else might you do from the adult? A tree, I see your hands up. Please unmute yourself. You got to unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry. I don't know if this is part of your empathic listening, but supporting someone when they're going through a hard time, like giving them a hug or supporting someone.
Yeah, so supporting someone on the phone. Yeah. Or hanging out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nadia. And then we'll look at the needs that are met by each of these strategies. Nadia?
Not judging.
Yeah, so not judging is a not activity.
For me, it's a big activity, James.
I'm sorry?
For me, it's a huge activity. The activity of not judging is a very active thing.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's turn that into an action. So practicing acceptance. Yeah. So practicing acceptance with, and we can say, I don't know, with people that need it, or even strangers. Yeah. So practicing acceptance. All right. So let's now that we've talked about some of the things that the generative adult might do, let's look at the needs that are met by empathic listening or supporting someone on the phone. So why might you do that? What's the reason behind it?
Creating connection.
Yeah, it could be creating connection. Yeah, what else? What's in it for you? Why would you do that?
Feeling of being useful.
Being useful. How about like helping or contributing to someone's well-being? Maybe even friendship, like mutual support, something like that. So there might be times when you need support. So we rely on our friends for that. All right, let's go to the next one. Teaching a child. What's the motivation behind that?
Having a purpose and
Yeah, sense
contribution.
of purpose. Yeah. Yeah, maybe setting up collaboration for the village. Yeah, it could be, teaching them to, do some skill that the village needs. And I would also say, like contribution. Yeah, so you're contributing to someone else's learning. Yeah. And there, Drew, go ahead.
Mastery.
Yeah. Yeah, developing mastery or showing your mastery. Totally. Thank you. And I guess that's very similar to organizing activities of singing, dancing, and playing. Yeah, so we'll make that. So what about practicing acceptance? What are the needs? Why would you do that?
Need for harmony.
Yeah, it could be a need for harmony. That could be internal harmony or external harmony. What else? Faye, and then Tree?
Integrity.
Integrity.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's in line with your values to practice acceptance. And so meet my need for integrity. Yeah.
I feel like safety, it brings
Yeah.
a sense of safety need.
It could totally be about safety too. And I would say even like meaning, right? Like it can help us to bring meaning to our lives. All right. So I'm gonna give some definitions here. And then Faye, are you wanting to add something? I see that your hand's up. Nope. All right. So just some definitions of what a strategy is. Another word for it is preferences. So it's what we do or what we use or do to meet our needs. And it's anything related to people, location, action, time, or objects. And typically conflict happens at the strategy, at the level of strategies. So needs our intrinsic motivators. They're the why we do things. One of my favorite definitions are life energy in us seeking fulfillment. And we do that independently of Plato, of the people, location, action, time, and object. And needs are universal. And the cool thing is needs are not in conflict with each other. So so that's a little bit of sort of like bringing in NVC into this dialogue. Yeah, so not seeing any hands. I'm going to share with you my nature-based or nature-inspired version of universal human needs. And this has, it kind of maps the 4 directions, but what's cool about it is I use a metaphor of a flower to organize the universal human needs. So towards the bottom, you have the more physical needs, including embodiment. So being alive in our bodies. On the left, you have personal needs. On the right, you have the interconnected needs. And then towards the top, you have the transcendent needs. So Nadia, do you have, I see your hands up. Are you?
I have one question.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
didn't understand about your, not the last, the one before the last slide. I didn't understand the point about strategy and conflicts. And
Yes.
also, if you could elaborate on the fact that needs are not in conflict among themselves, because this I found a little opposite to my experience.
Yeah. So thank you for asking. This is one of the foundational principles of nonviolent communication, is that needs are not in conflict. And one of the examples that I love to use is like the kind of relationships that I want to be in value autonomy and connection. So autonomy is the part or the need, the part of me that wants to be known as an individual, to have my own voice, to have my own experience, and to be heard. And then connection is the part of me that wants closeness and friendship, mutual support. So at the level of needs, there is no conflict, because that's where, it's sort of like, that's what's inside me and that's what's inside you. So the conflict arises when we attach meeting those needs to one person. Like, hey, I'm trying to connect with you, Nadia, and we're not connecting. So when I'm just giving you an example, like, once I try to meet my needs for connection with one person, then that's when we go to strategy. Was that helpful, Nadia, to hear? And it might take some time to have that absorbed.
Okay.
And I see your hands up, Drew. Are you wanting to add to it?
I feel excited because I have a need for contribution. So Nadia, not only can needs act independently, but they can also act harmoniously. So in a choir, for example, all the voices together make a sound that no individual could ever make. So a way I get excited to strategize about meeting my needs, for example, is If I go hiking with friends in nature, I'm like, haha, I get connection, I get my nature time, and I get exercise. All these needs are being met all at once. So the needs are being met harmoniously. And this call is one of those. I'm meeting needs for learning and exploration and connection at the same time.
Thank you, Drew. Loved hearing that. Yeah, and it's totally a paradigm shift. So so that's kind of the invitation. And as we learn and practice nonviolent communication or anything related to this, that's one of the themes that comes up over and over again, is being able to separate out strategies from needs. Yeah, I want to encourage you, since if you're wanting to learn more NVC, I definitely have other workshops that that can help with that side of it. All right, so I'm setting up an interactive exercise for you to explore your north, your nurturing generative adult. All right, so I'm going to set up groups of 3 and 4 people again, and you're going to take turns answering the question, what are you doing to contribute? And that can be to family, to society, to nature. So contribution is the need that I'm inviting you to connect with, and you get to decide what strategies to share with the group. So this is another way of sort of building in. And the role of persons B, the other people that are not speaking, is to listen to the needs, and maybe every once in a while to reflect, to acknowledge and reflect. So, hey, contribution is important to you, or sense of friendship and mutual collaboration. So just acknowledging the needs, and the rest of the time you just pause to listen. So, yeah, that is the gist. And I will send messages for you to switch roles. And we're not after really a long story, just wanting, you to acknowledge a minute's worth of stuff, of what you're contributing to. Hi, Ron, you raising your hand?
Yeah, just a quick question. So with the group of 4 of us, is one person then A and the other 3 B, or do we
Yes.
pair off? Okay.
Yep.
Great.
One A person and the others are B.
Perfect.
Yeah, my other graphics are a little bit more explicit to that, but thanks for asking. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the rooms. So we'll recreate the rooms. Actually, let's do 5 rooms of 3. Yeah, let's do that. 5 rooms of 3. And you'll each have about a minute each, but I'll give you a minute before and a minute after to sort of get things going. All right, we'll see you in about 5 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. Just want to do a little harvest. I love the imagery. Hopefully, there's some fruit that's coming out. Would you like to talk about the fruit? Any insights that you gained from the experience? And this is a North practice. So this is kind of the traditional nonviolent communication interaction. People are talking to each other, and there's some empathy happening on the other side.
I like very much what my 2 peers brought in the conversation. One was the need of mental stimulation, and the other was a need for clarity. This was really an insight for me.
Thanks, Nadia.
Yeah, I'll say something.
I just want to honor that Raf raised her hand.
Okay.
So Raf and then Tree. Go ahead,
Okay.
Raf.
Yeah, no, what I loved is that all three of us had a need of contribution, but the way we met that need was in completely different ways. And that is the beauty of harvesting the needs, how it can be met in so many different ways. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So hearing kind of a celebration of the abundance of possibilities, same life energy in us, and we find different ways of meeting those needs. Thank you for sharing that. I just want to invite Carol. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm going to rename you real quick.
Okay, I was just going to do that, but my computer won't let me.
Yeah, sure. So I'm here to help. Welcome back. Looks like you got dropped off.
I did. I was.
We just finished talking about the nurturing generative adult, and we sent people into breakout rooms to experience kind of our traditional empathic listening exchange. So good thing that Carol, you've practiced NVC every week. So, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, I did. I missed a lot. I'm bereft. I love that nurturing generative adult. So I'm very happy to be back.
All right. So we're about to move into the east facet. So I like going, as the sun is rotating to go clockwise. Let's do that.